Attention, please. Eastern Airlines Flight 19, now ready for departure.
Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express monorail. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're entering the vacation kingdom of the world.
There's enough land here to hold all the ideas and plans we could possibly imagine. We call it Epcot. Will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow.
Welcome to another episode of the Retro Disney World Podcast, taking you back to the vacation kingdom of the world, the way it was, and the way it is in your memories.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Retro Disney World Podcast, the official podcast of the Lake Buena Vista Historical Society. This is episode 104, Florida Orangebird, where we'll be taking you back to that funny little creature, walk-around character, animated character, whatever you see fit. We'll be talking about him, his relationship and thereof with Anita Bryant and other things. I'm your host, Todd McCartney, sitting with me always for this recording, Mr. JT Kujer. Hello, sir.
Hello, Todd. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Back to the Orangebird here. This is like an OG episode. We're back on something actually like original, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, and this was for a while. I remember photos and movies were kind of our white whale to find. You know, they were that holy grail. So then we found some since then, which I'm sure we'll be talking about. But,
my favorite Orangebird is the one with like the carpet head that, you know, you would see the handprints in it.
He had two different heads.
We'll talk about the two different costumes.
It was like almost like a I don't even know what it was made out of it, but it's
crushed velour.
It was
jacket. So, Mr. Howe Bowers, it still looks like you're in the Home Depot aisle there for storage with all the bins, but I know you're still moving in and getting adjusted, but welcome as always.
Thank you. Aloha. It's good to be here.
It reminds me, you know, in the movie Best in Show, when they run out of hotel rooms and they show them the closet.
This is literally, you know, we don't want you out in the cold, so this will give you some sort of a place to stay while you're here. Don't judge it by this. We're going to get some help and clean a lot of this stuff out and bring in a cot and make it a little comfy for you. Room service. That's the good news. You're right next door to the kitchen. I mean, literally next door. So you grab somebody and, you know, get a menu and you'll be able to order something from them.
And say, just utility closet?
That's what it's like for you, Hal. Well, did you alert your family you're in the broom closet?
Yeah, it's constant.
One of the renovations was he added a like on the air recording light outside the room.
That's right.
When he redid the house, so now he just flips it on. They know not to disturb him when the lights on.
We used to always, both myself and my wife, we got these little flip like plastic things on Amazon where you can say like, do not disturb.
Oh. Almost like you're at the doctor and they flip that little color thing across.
Yeah,
so
it goes from red to green so that way people know, oh, don't come in, you're talking now. So if we're on conference calls or anything. So that was great. Yeah. The on the air thing seems a little pretentious, but
you know, someday people are going to see those like, you know, 50 years from now, be like, why did these people put these do not disturb signs on their rooms? What was going on? I'd be like, well, kids, we had this thing called Zoom and we had to work from home and, you know, it's this whole big thing. Or it's going to be the norm and they're going to be like standard issue in every house.
Yeah, exactly. Coming in from Philadelphia, Mr. Brian Miles. How are you tonight, sir?
Greetings and salutations. The city here is awash in preparations for the semi-quincentennial. America's 250th. Every day, I see the Philly captain do a new YouTube video on the preparations and the things they're fixing stuff that hasn't been fixed in 25 years in the city. Just
look at that.
We're going to get the fake city ready for everybody. Look at this stuff. These steps look great. All these lights are lit. So it's nice to do that. My mom used to do that when we were having company. We'd get the fake house ready. You know, clean it all up. It was spick and span. You know,
we're having company.
Nobody lives here.
Yeah, we're wiping down walls nobody ever touched, you know.
So what you're saying is Philadelphia is replacing every broken bulb just like they do on Main Street, but only for a period of time.
So the first time they did that in my lifetime, I vividly remember when the Democratic National Convention was here in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
we had like 3 major railroads that came through here, and the suburban station, which I think was part of the Pennsylvania Railroad, had the exterior of the building had this. Now everybody has them. If you have a party, there's 2 funny stories about this, but how everybody's got like you'd have the letter T behind you in that in the like outlined in bulbs, and you can buy them now at like Home Goods or whatever, and everybody has them for their like Sweet 16 party and stuff.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Well, Suburban Station from like the Art Deco era had all that, like suburban Pennsylvania Railroad Suburban Station, like spelled out in light bulbs, like in colored light bulbs. And the bulbs had been out for like 40 years. And then when the convention was coming in 2000, one of the things that got spruced up was Suburban Station. Like the sign got fixed, like the tomb of the unknown Revolutionary War soldier that was like an eternal flame that hadn't been eternal for like 30 years was relit. Like there was just all these things they did in the city that year to kind of like spruce it up for people.
Yeah.
So they're doing that again. So thank you, for America for turning 250. But the other story about the letters is where our archive is in Florida. I think of the 4 of us, I'm probably the most frequent visitor to it, because on most visits, I'm there at the beginning and end of my trip, bringing stuff in to add in and stuff to take home. At the other end of the hall from where we are, there is a storage unit where I have now 3 times run into the people who must do like party services, because they're constantly with their big flatbed, either loading on those letters or putting those letters back in their storage unit. So you must be able to rent like the letters from them.
Yeah. We get letters. Letters. Little throwback to
the old CBS mailbag.
That's right. All right. Well, before we dive into the Orange Bird topic for tonight, JT, you have the mailbag ready? Anything?
So the mailbag, dug deep, got into some good ones, because I like to, keep people guessing. Most of these people, I think they've either moved on or maybe they're just still waiting. But either way, I like all the questions, and I like to let people know we dig. We dig. This is from Marilyn, though. Marilyn says she's looking for a coin that was produced for the Empress Lily. And any Empress Lily merchandise, I'm not saying I'm a super collector, but anytime I see something fun, I usually buy it because that's my daughter's name, Lily. Unrelated to the boat. We didn't name her after a boat. But I did get on eBay currently, and this auction runs through this week. Maybe longer. I don't know. But either way, there's one currently on eBay, and it is $50 though for this medallion. 1987. It looks no bigger than a Chuck E. Cheese coin, if I'm honest. And you can make an offer if you really want one, but says it's rare, and it's kind of like a bronze golden looking coin there. So kind of cool looking.
What's on the obverse and reverse? What is it?
I'll give you guys a link here as well. But I will describe it for the listeners. It is first side. It says the Empress Lily with a like a cool logo. Actually, that's almost like a shirt right there. I don't know if that's out there. Not sure. And then it says Port of Lake Buena Vista. Yeah. Didn't know if it was ever called that. The Port of Lake Buena Vista. And on the other side is a picture of the boat. There,
the ship it's steaming down the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Now, I dabble in coin collecting, as you guys may or may not know.
Is there like a technical term for that?
Dabbler.
Numismatics.
Because I know stamp collectors are what?
Philatelists.
I dabble in Neustenstein.
The castle.
Liechtenstein.
Numismatics is the term, and you're numismatist.
Okay. So you're a numismatist.
Numismatist. I have a coin.
I knew he was part of some freaky religion.
Yeah. I was going to say, he does magic, and I'm hypnotized.
I'm hip to
But I believe this coin has been cleaned. There, do you see from left to right on kind of a 30-degree angle?
And that's bad, right?
You never want to.
We want the patina.
Coins. Never. You do want patina. It could be. I mean, look, these are tokens. They're not. But
it doesn't have a cash value.
There's no cash. Only what the best person will
$50 cash value.
You should get that, put that in a Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm really curious now as to what these would have been for. Like, you know, it was around the time, Todd, you were doing the kids' breakfast on there.
Yeah,
and like I can't imagine what that token would have been for, or if it was just like a keepsake that they.
Well, remember in the early 80s when Epcot opened, they made Epcot medallions and they made Magic Kingdom medallions. They were sold in a plastic envelope and they were surrounded by a blue cardboard. So they were in a hole in the blue cardboard, if you will. And then when MGM Studios came out, that was the last one that I know of that they made in that format. So my only guess is that maybe this was done as well for sale at their store. You know, but yeah, it's interesting.
I wish it knew how big it was. There's no size on the listing.
I found one 1.5 inches.
Okay.
So
All right. So that's
yeah.
one of the medallion.
Yeah.
It does have a gift box too with it.
Oh, wow.
This is not.
Can you imagine
another one I'm finding?
Son, you've graduated, and I wanted to get you something really nice.
Your father wanted you to have this.
I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years. Then, after 7 years, I was sent home to my family, and now, little man, I give the watch to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, we do have an episode scheduled. We're doing 104 now. 106 is supposed to be on the Empress Lily. So by the time we do that episode, we promise you we'll find out what these were used for.
Yeah, I do like the they'd make an Empress Lily souvenir porcelain like boat, you know, the
drink.
That was the drink container, wasn't it?
I have one of those.
Yeah. Do you? Are you sure it didn't float away with all your other possessions?
It's a boat. It floats.
That survived. You should have put the hot dog wrapper in the boat, How?
Oh, if I was only thinking ahead.
I know. All right. Well, Marilyn, thank you for asking that. If you're looking, there is one on eBay currently, and you could get it. Next up is Jared. Jared says he was only introduced to your podcast a couple weeks ago in 2024. So he was now a couple years ago.
He's given up on us already.
Yeah, he's already a huge fan, though, Brian. He visited the first time in 1977 when we took the family motor home from Detroit to Fort Wilderness. We went every...
Say that again?
From Detroit to Fort...
Detroit. Just checking.
Detroit.
Speaking of which, our sports update, the Cavs just beat the Pistons, so they are done, and we are moving on. So,
that's the basketball
yes,
we're talking about there.
Yes. Detroit is out of the playoffs. Anyways, back to Jared here. He says he went to Fort Wilderness every February from 1977 to 1992. They made that trip there.
Wow.
You know what? If you've ever been in Michigan during the winter, he made the right choice.
Mm-hmm. He later married. He had kids of his own and took his own children there 11 or 12 times until they married and had kids of their own. He's now 51, probably about 53 now, and in the process of planning his first trip with grandchildren. It is the most special place to me and my family. He says he can relate to me most since 20 or 21 trips they took and stayed there. They've stayed at other resorts around the Magic Kingdom, but Fort Wilderness is home. So thank you for all you do to help me relive some very special moments in my life. Well, Jared, let us know how that trip went with the grandkids, because this was a couple of years ago, and hopefully it was a success. And, let us know if you like the new pool there. That's the hot thing. Next one here. Let's go to Johnny. How, this is actually a question for you. So we're going mid-90s. His family went to Disney for a long trip, a week, and they were staying at the Contemporary, and they decided to go on an adventure one night at the Magic Kingdom without a ticket. They went to the gate, and there was 5 minutes from park closing, which just still blows my mind to this day. If you walk up there and it closes at 9 and you roll up at 8:45, you pay full price for that ticket for 15 minutes. But for Johnny here, they were able to walk right through the exit gate without anyone stopping them. Pre 9/11, he's thinking. Hightailed it down Main Street, stayed to the right, made a beeline for take flight, and unfortunately, just as they made it to Tomorrowland, a security guard told us Sorry, folks, park's closed, while gesturing back to the main gate. Sadly, we turned around and went back to the exit. He's just wondering, was this a common thing? Was this easy to do in the park? Like, half hour was like, do whatever. Was it common for people to try this? Should they have tried a different land? Like any insight?
That's interesting. I'm trying to think. Well, I guess it's one of those, what do they call it? A crime of opportunity, right? So during that time period, I'm trying to, getting back into the Wayback Machine in my head. It's like, most of the time you're just walking out, and it wasn't the exit gates weren't staffed. There were people at the entrances, which were still turnstiles back then. But I think the exits, I'm trying to remember if the exits were turnstile too.
Back then, if you were walking out, like, oh my God, I left that bag on the steps at this train station. Like, you just turned around and walked back in.
Yeah.
Now, you got the FBI standing there. Like,
right. And I'm guessing 5 minutes before at that point, I don't think anybody would have batted an eye.
Yeah.
Back then, this is pre-biometrics and like all of the crazy things you have to do to walk in, which is allegedly easier.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if people did that a lot, but certainly it could be done.
I remember taking a paper ticket we had and like handing it over to somebody to come in like through the grates, and they came in with the same ticket, like, I got my hand stamped and whatever, but.
Right. And you would still have hand stamps back then. So there would have been a hand stamp entrance as well over by the regular ticket area that would have been staffed. But yeah, I bet you could have done that back then.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not now, but
yeah, now there's just a ton of people hanging out, with Mickey hands and things, waving goodnight to you, where they're, they pull all that staff out.
So that annoys me too, because it's like there's all these slots and you make me go through one. Like, I'm way over here. Let me leave. I got to funnel to the middle. What's the difference?
Right. And that section got so radically redone after 9/11 when they rejiggered all the security there. That it's definitely it's not the same experience today as it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think this guy is exactly the reason why they don't let you like have all the entrances and exits. They funnel you all to one place so they can, have everybody keeping an eye on what's going on.
Well, like, I just feel bad because like, okay, we managed to like do this and get through, and you get all the way to the ride, and then they're like, oh, sorry, folk, park's closed. Moose out front should have told you.
Yeah.
All that for just let me on take flight, please, sir. All right. Well, thanks, Johnny. Appreciate that. Time gone by. Can't do that anymore, but definitely a fun memory. I'm sure you guys running over there full speed and then just that letdown.
I was going to say, I'll tell you a story that I heard once.
Oh.
So apparently there used to be a fence over by Space Mountain that kind of went over the water. And if you were limber enough, you could kind of swing around the fence and get into the backside of Tomorrowland and then like get into the park that way for free. I saw a thing on Facebook from someone who said they did that for like years and years and years when they were kids.
I saw cast members talking about people used to go in, just going down that road that crosses to the Contemporary from the Magic Kingdom and just walking in through the Tomorrowland gate, especially before it was done. Just put a hard hat on, look like one of the village people, and wander in there.
It certainly does feel like like you're not sneaking in, but you're entering like a military installation, like the way the security is and the fencing, and then to get in there without a ticket is probably like, oh, like that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a
federal crime.
It's a $200 crime now.
Yeah.
Back then it was a $20 crime or whatever.
I mean, like, it's because I always walk around too, and I tell my kids this is like crazy. Like, you used to be able to go in there just to walk around without a ticket. You just needed the ride booklets, which is just, some people don't know that still. And I one time recently we got to go in to spectate the Run Disney race, and they actually let you in the Main Street, like down the whole Main Street without a ticket. Like, you can go stand in the park without. So it was like this moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm crossing the threshold and nobody's stopping me. It was just felt very weird.
You step 1 foot over the line, we're gonna.
That's it. You could go to Casey's and that was it. You couldn't go anywhere else. But yeah. All right. Well, Olivia is up next, and everybody get ready to have your mind blown here. You might remember this email from a couple years ago, and I don't think we read this, and if we did, well, your mind will not be blown. But Olivia says, my name is Olivia, and I've recently started listening to your podcast. I've been jumping around a lot. I'm not sure if y'all solved the mystery of the living with the land Smelitzer, but I thought I could help. My boss and I both did the college program. He was in 1989 in the greenhouse, and mine was in 2022 at the World of Disney. My boss worked for Disney in the greenhouse for a couple years after his program. I asked him if he knew of any Smelitzer in what was then Listen to the Land, because she heard the show. He immediately said, oh yeah, the barnyard smell. Keep in mind, he hasn't been back to the park since the early 90s, so he still remembers that smell. I don't know. We didn't debunk this, did we? Like we were still trying to figure out if it was for real or not, right?
Yeah. So there we go. Confirmed.
Yeah. There were a lot of people that mentioned like, where did it go? Where did it go? So, yep.
Yeah. And I always look when you roll into the barn with which shows the films now. Has it always been the pictures of the children of the world, or was it something else over the years?
Oh no. The films in there have changed over time,
but it's always been a film.
There were films in there. There was, I think the first one had something about the Dust Bowl, when it became the Dust Bowl because of over farming and it was kind of the downer. It's like, but, and then it was like, oh, but now with new technology, things are different. And then they sort of took that away when they changed it to be more of the positive, like here at Epcot.
Well, yeah, that's the, now they tell you all about the, natural pesticides and, that stuff. But
they're like, oh yeah, we don't do that anymore. We don't ever farm anywhere. Everything's cool now, right, guys?
We don't use genetically modified seeds.
We just spray Roundup on everything.
Well, they, every time you roll into that barn, I look and it's to the right. There's a big circle hole in the wall, right in the wood planks. I think that's maybe where it was Smellitzering from. But if anybody knows, it based on everything we know about how they do these things, the machine's probably still sitting in the wall. It's just not turned on, or it's
still has a faint straw smell.
Yeah, it's stripped for parts or something. But
or it's been repurposed.
Yeah.
That's where the Rome smell came from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Olivia also says her family is DVC, Todd.
Oh, right.
They bought it secondhand. And their home resort's Old Key West. They've talked about how buying secondhand has been great. It makes them want to buy through Disney when they decide to get a second contract. Almost like the secondhand contract was a way for them to see if they really liked it and thought it would be practical when they were empty nesters. But back to our kitchen question. Her mom has a very restrictive diet, so the kitchen makes it a lot easier on her to make sure she has the food that she needs. We've never made anything crazy like a Thanksgiving dinner, but we've made wings, pizza, when we all forgot to eat. Now it's 11 p.m. So again, we're still searching for that family feast there in the DVC full kitchen, the 1-2 bedroom.
Pretty close to it though.
Yeah. All right, Olivia, thank you. Appreciate the stories and the insight into the Smellitzer there. That's great. And so that is what I have. I would like you to write us with your questions, your stories. It's been a while since we've had a celebrity story. So if you hear any good ones, let us know. Podcast at retro.wdw.com. There's a chance that any story or letter you write us could end up on a future episode. And we try to get back to you and at least say thanks or hello or something like that. So thank you so much.
Letters. We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
All right, well, it's time for our main topic. As we said at the beginning of the show, this is about the Florida orange bird. I believe How and Brian have put this together, and I've done some little searches on this thing called the LBV History Archive. So I'll plug that a little bit. If you're doing any research on Walt Disney World, be certain to head over to lbvhistory.org/archive for our all new online archive of eyes and ears and photos and slides and you name it. Lots of stuff there, and including the four of us in podcast form. You can search all the episodes and the text there within. So we've been transcribed. But let's get to the main topic here. Brian, who's going to lead this one for us?
Oh, this is all Hal Bowers.
All Hal Bowers. All right.
He's been working on this since the 90s.
Yeah, I'm an OG Orangebird fan. Being as old as I am, I experienced the Orangebird firsthand. I saw these commercials on television. It's like when you would go to the stores, you'd see all the merchandise. As I got older and appreciated the fact that he existed and then disappeared, it's like Mike Lee and myself and Dave Ensign would go scavenge all of the citrus stands around the area to find whatever merchandise might be left. And even in the 1990s, it's like we were still finding leftover merchandise from the 70s and 80s that was still for sale in the stores. So we snapped up everything we could at the time. But yeah, so like I'm an OG Orangebird fan from way back. So this is my baby. This is my groove. I love the little guy. I'm happy to see him back again. So let's go way back. We're going to talk about even why this Florida Orangebird can even exist here. So oranges have been grown in Florida since the 1500s, when the Spanish brought plants with them to their settlements in St. Augustine and Tampa. And by the turn of the 20th century, citrus became one of Florida's most important industries. Now, unfortunately, like any commodity, the sale of citrus products fluctuates with supply and demand problems, things like war, freezes, and of course the Great Depression. So a surplus of crops for any reason would spell financial disaster for the growers. So the Florida Department of Citrus was formed in 1935 to help solve these problems. Besides acting as a regulatory agency and the research and development arm for the citrus industry, the department's most important job was to open up new markets, both domestic and foreign, for the consumption of orange juice. And they would do that through marketing promotion. So the growers would pay a tax on each box of harvested oranges, and that would fund the department and its work. And that arrangement really paid off. So it bankrolled things like the development of the frozen concentrate process, so that way they could sell orange juice year round, because before you could only ship it fresh. So once they figured out how to do frozen concentrate, they were able to sell orange juice, across the country all year round instead of just an orange juice season. But also, like I said, increasing the sales of juice products in the US and in other countries by paying for advertising. By the mid-1960s, orange juice production in Florida was at an all-time high. In 1966, that year's orange crop was estimated to grow by 50 million boxes over the previous year, which was the largest gain ever at that time. So a surplus of that much fruit would seriously hurt the industry, because as we all know, if there's like too much supply and not enough demand, like it causes prices to go down. So the Florida Citrus Commission, which governs the Department of Citrus, swung into action, and they increased their advertising budget from $5.3 million to $9.5 million. So almost, doubling it. And they channeled most of that into television advertising featuring Anita Bryant, the 1959 Miss America pageant's second runner-up. And so, Brian, I'm going to take an outside chance here. Not that I think that you're like a big Miss America fan, but by any chance, do you know who the winner of that year's pageant was? Because she became a celebrity.
Is he, Cosmo Kramer?
She became a celebrity in the 1970s.
I've watched every Miss America.
So she took a decade off.
Yeah, well, I think she slowly built up steam through the 60s, and then by the 70s she was doing like Match Game.
She was doing Match Game and Marianne Mobley. Yeah,
oh, that's right.
Who I think is still alive. She died in 2014. She's been going a long time.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who I've been thinking of that was like one of those Match Game panelists is still alive. And you're like, wow.
Well, she was still around when we got some of these letters I just read. So.
That is true. That is true.
And she was married to Gary Collins, who I only know. I remember he was on, did he sub on Good Morning America or something?
Also dead. Yeah, he was, Gary Collins is one of those guys that I just kind of remember always being around, right?
I remember Hangar 51, was that the movie he was in? There was some space movie.
Gary Collins wasn't Hangar 18. But where we would most know him, Hal, in the 1980s, he hosted the talk show Our Magazine from 1980 to 1988.
I'm Gary Collins. Join me for the Valley of the Sun's most informative and entertaining television hour, Our Magazine. We'll make you laugh. We might even make you cry. But I promise we'll never bore you. We got tips to share from cooking to making a marriage last. And my co-host Pat Mitchell will go one-on-one with the stars and learn what they really have to say. So join me for Our Magazine, weekdays at 4, followed by 12 Action News at 5. It's all right here on Channel 12.
That's kind of, I remember him sitting on like a talk show set.
Right.
Talking to people. They also, he and Marianne Mobley co-hosted the Miss America pageant throughout the 80s and the Pillsbury Bake Off. So like, that's what I remember. Like I said, he was just like, oh, you know, it's like when you see John Tesh or John Davidson, you're like, oh, okay. You know, like I haven't seen him in a contemporary film, but I see him all the time. You know?
Right. He was always around somehow.
Yes.
Awesome. So as a part of that campaign, the ad agency Telair also developed the idea of the sunshine tree, which is a mythical tree that grew every variety of Florida citrus, including oranges and grapefruit. So that's the logo that you would see on the juice packages, identifying the product as coming from Florida, as opposed to California oranges or, you know, I guess Costa Rica or wherever else they might have come from at that time. They also commissioned a song about the sunshine tree for Anita Bryant to sing in television and radio commercials.
Meet me in the shade of the sunshine tree, pretty little Florida sunshine tree, cool and sweet, what a lovely spot. A place to meet where the sun is hot. We'll while away the lazy old day in the shade of the sunshine tree.
The campaign was wildly successful. It increased awareness and sales of Florida orange juice, and it saved the industry from catastrophe through at least 1967. Meanwhile, just a stone's throw away from the heart of Florida's largest concentration of orange groves, activity was beginning on the construction of a location that would ultimately transform the economy of Florida, Walt Disney World. As was the case at Disneyland, corporate sponsorship was to play an important part in the creation and the promotion of the new park. The Disney organization saw Walt Disney World as a way to introduce its existing corporate sponsors to the East Coast international market, and they wasted little time in trying to sign them up to help pay for new versions of Disneyland favorites. One sponsorship that didn't quite fit, however, was United Airlines' sponsorship of the Enchanted Tiki Room. You know, Disney was working on a deal to make Eastern Airlines the official airline of Walt Disney World, and travelers to Florida probably weren't going to make the trip to Hawaii from the East Coast. It's just too far, not as accessible as it is in California. So it probably didn't take long for Disney and the Department of Citrus to figure out that Walt Disney World would provide an excellent opportunity to promote Florida orange juice to the hundreds of thousands of tourists visiting the Magic Kingdom each year. And the state already had some experience marketing directly to the visitors for many years, and I think they still might do this. You get a free glass of orange juice or grapefruit juice at the Welcome Center just over the state line. Did they still give out the orange juice, JT? I think you stopped at one of the centers just recently, right?
Not at the official Florida Welcome Center, but it's littered with little gas stations that call themselves the Florida Citrus Center, and it looks more exciting than it is when you get there and you stop, and you know they got the baby gators and I think they do offer a free glass, but it's not. I don't want to sound completely, it's just not something you're interested in drinking. It's not the best. It's not a nice gas station that's giving it to you.
I will say, Howard, that off of I-4, I stopped one time at the Water Ski Hall of Fame, which you see the billboards for when you're on I-4.
I always drive by that building, yeah.
So I got off there. It's not like right off the exit. It's, you drive a few miles. And I want to say we went off that exit for two reasons. One was to stop there. And two, there was a citrus grove not far from there that we wanted to stop at. But at that Water Ski Hall of Fame, rest stop, gift shop, whatever you want to call it, we're giving out free Florida orange juice samples from the little
those tiny paper cups. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And they always have them at the hotel free, continental breakfast. They have those little serve your own.
Oh, so you do
No, you wouldn't do it. They'd have somebody do it. You weren't loading up. You weren't making a mimosa there. Like you got like a Dixie cup full of orange juice to try.
Now, I will say, I don't know if this is the same one you went to, Brian, but the Visit Central Florida Welcome Center, is that where you went?
That's probably sounds about right.
That's where says the Water Ski Hall of Fame is
Yeah,
now.
that would have been where it was.
It's on the way to Tampa.
It is between Tampa and Orlando, yes.
So I remember getting orange juice, but I remember why my memory is being stoked and how it was those orange plastic
sippers.
Oh yeah, those are fun
with the green top. And
with
the reason I remember that is because it's in the photo.
I see them at flea markets all the time,
and it's in the photo next to the Sanka. on the
counter in the treehouse. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that photo. I remember inspecting it, saying, "What was Todd eating?
Yes,
is that a box of Wheaties?"
Georgia, they give you nothing, but Florida, you get orange juice.
I remember the rest stop in Georgia was the first place I saw. Actually, it was they started building these big rest stops because like Buc-ee's and. The official rest stops, because the gas station like stops that you make, they're the filthiest, most dangerous, dingiest places. And I remember I had to stop at one in Georgia when I drove straight through the day after Christmas, like 6 or 7 years ago, and boiled peanuts in a crock pot.
Yep.
And I was just like,
yum.
Yeah, I don't care for them, but I know there's a lot of people who love them. I just was like, I don't know that I want them from a crock pot in a Marathon gas station here that looks like it hasn't been cleaned since the 80s.
You got the bathroom key attached to the alloy wheel. Steve Martin.
Yeah.
So Walt Disney Productions entered into negotiations with the Florida Citrus Commission for a Florida citrus grower sponsored Magic Kingdom attraction in 1967. Took 2 years for negotiation, but on October 22nd, 1969, the Department of Citrus signed a multi-year contract with the Disney Corporation to become the official sponsor of Walt Disney World under the pseudonym of the Florida Orange Growers, which the department used and continues to use when sponsoring public events, presumably to give it a gentler, non-governmental sound.
Mm-hmm.
So with the necessary funding secured, the design for the Florida version of the Enchanted Tiki Room was greatly expanded. In early plans, the complex was named the Great Ceremonial House. With the sponsorship, it became the Sunshine Pavilion, the name being a reference to the Sunshine Tree in the state's advertising campaign, and they used the Great Ceremonial House name on the Polynesian instead. Besides the higher capacity version of the California show, the Sunshine Pavilion would also house the Sunshine Tree Terrace, a large counter-style facility where citrus juice products would be sold to thirsty guests. So, in exchange for sponsoring the attraction, the Department of Citrus was granted the right to use Disney characters and marketing know-how to promote their product. The Department of Citrus asked Disney how they might better integrate their marketing materials with the Disney partnership. And instead of using Mickey or Donald, who since 1940 had a brand of orange juice produced by a co-op of Florida growers, or any of the other established characters as Eastern Airlines did about the same time, the suggestion was made to have Disney create a brand new character for them. And thus, the Orange Bird was born. In the following year, 1970, Wood Enterprises created the Orange Bird character to serve as the Florida Citrus Commission's official mascot in promotional campaigns. The first designs were done by artist Don McCartney, who started as a comic book artist, then became an art director with Disney Publicity, and later was in charge of Disney Consumer Products. That artwork was finalized by Bob Moore, who was creative director of marketing. He'd later go on to design Sam the Eagle for the 1984 Summer Olympics, and he was named a Disney legend in 1996. And the Orange Bird is really kind of an odd character, which I think is one of the things that makes him kind of beloved. So his head is an orange, and his wings are leaves from the Sunshine Tree. His body is supposed to be a stylized bird's body, although it doesn't look very much like a natural bird's. But that's not really that strange because advertising executives have been sticking arms and legs on products for years. You know, Speedy Alka-Seltzer and his cousins sort of serving as spokes creatures. talking up the product like they're human counterparts, which is something that the orange bird can't do. And that's because the orange bird doesn't have the power to speak. So how does he communicate the benefits of Florida orange juice inaudibly?
Thought bubbles.
That's right. In fact, his motto is think orange. And that's why whenever you see the orange bird and the slogan together, it appears inside of a thought balloon coming out of his head. According to the story record, which we'll talk about in a minute, whatever the orange bird thinks appears as an orange-colored smoke for a short amount of time before dissipating.
And that is really brilliant marketing, because you don't have to have the character speak. And then that makes it much more applicable to posters. And the fact that you have the thinking dots, probably there's some subliminal thing with that rather than the comic where he would be speaking. And it also it doesn't get into the voice issues that you have when they get to the commercials and the television. And look, Disney characters don't talk, so when you get to that part, it makes a lot of sense. So I think it was a brilliant move by them to put it as a thought bubble.
Well, to your point, when they go to record the record album, it becomes very in the opposite thing where audio is expected. It becomes very difficult to work with that character. So yeah, you're right. It's with that Think Orange slogan, it's on all the posters, and very easy to communicate what you need to do with the orange bird just by showing the orange bird. You don't get hung up on all the other stuff.
Yeah. And actually, Orange Bird is sitting in here tonight. He can't say anything, but we wanted to let you know
talking nonstop.
Yeah, he just keeps thinking these great things, and we'll forward them on to you once we arrange all of his thought bubbles into the episode. So
he just keeps thinking you're wrong. Every time I say something, you're wrong.
It's like, how? You're totally
That's
off.
it.
Yeah,
Not it at all. The character was introduced in walk-around form at a press event in Lakeland, Florida on March 3rd, 1971. Roy Norris, a 5'2" 17-year-old junior, became the first orange bird. He took dance lessons to perform in the costume and earned $25 a day or $35 when traveling out of state at citrus events.
He's a bird. Why didn't he fly?
Yeah, really. He did on an airplane. The wings get tired. Come on. He can't speak. He couldn't buy a ticket. It's terrible.
All right. His overwhelming cuteness would make him a cross-media superstar years before the word synergy became part of the Disney company's vocabulary. So besides appearing at the Sunshine Pavilion as both a walk-around character, originally portrayed by Nancy Parvin, and in figural form swinging from the Sunshine Tree in the Sunshine Tree Terrace Juice Bar, the orange bird would eventually become a television star, appearing in Florida orange juice commercials, also with Anita Bryant.
Come to the Florida Sunshine Tree. Hey, come back, little orange bird. I want to introduce you. This is my little friend, Orange Bird. He's not a talking bird. He's a thinking bird. He thinks orange. Watch. You're so smart, little friend. Natural orange juice is rich in vitamin C. That's so important to good nutrition. So drink pure orange juice from Florida. You can buy it many ways and in many brands. And it costs only pennies a glass. Orange juice with natural vitamin C from the Florida Sunshine Tree. Visit Orange Bird in the Florida Sunshine Tree at Walt Disney World. And remember, breakfast without orange juice is like a day without sunshine.
The spots featured Anita Bryant strolling through orange groves while the orange bird flew overhead. Animated by Vincent Cefarelli while working for the animation boutique Stars and Stripes Forever Inc., the ads were enormously popular and thrust the humble orange bird onto the national spotlight, with the commercials having been seen by over 90% of all women in the U.S., an average of 34 times during the 1972 television season. So they spent, I remember.
That was a push, yeah.
If you'd watch morning television, the Mike Douglas show, all those things, it was constant. Today he'd probably show up on Good Morning America, somehow live and in person animated if they decided to do that. He also got a Disneyland Records story long playing album, 45 RPM singles, and a couple of 7-inch long playing records featuring the vocal talents of Anita Bryant. There's that synergy again. And 6 new songs written by the Sherman Brothers, who, of course, penned other tunes for Disney, like in the Tiki 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 Room. In fact, the Little Orange Bird got a song written about him.
Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think of funny thoughts, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird.
The full-size LP tells the story of the Orange Bird with special guest appearances by actors Ron Howard, that's right, Richie from Happy Days, who was also on the Haunted Mansion album, guests on this, and he has his lines are awful in this. It's like it's almost sad to listen to him have to do this. And also Robbie Lester, who was on a million of the Disney things, and an actor, Sam Edwards, who plays the dad in this, he was in a million things back then.
Hey, look at that cute orange bird. He sure looks tame.
Yeah, he's cute. He looks tame.
Here, Birdie. She's calling me. She said I was cute.
Yeah, Birdie, come here.
Don't mess with strange birds. He hasn't let out a cheep.
LP, the big one, comes with fully illustrated pages inside. There's a storybook, so you can read along and follow along with the story. Unfortunately, and Brian, you can have a different opinion if you want to. This record is mostly awful. The Sherman Brothers songs are not the best songs they've ever done, by far.
A cat don't like a bird that's a dummy, makes it more yummy if he talks. A cat enjoys a bird that'll murmur if he's a squirmer and he squawks skidoo-buddy-doop.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like the Orange Bird song, the actual, like the theme song for the Little Orange Bird in the sunshine. You know, because the whole point of that is to explain who the Orange Bird is and their story, and it's well done. It's catchy. When you start getting, I mean, I have the Sherman Brothers 2 Cabbage Patch Kid albums here that I just bought to have them, and they're okay to listen to once, and then you're just like, you're pumping a dry well here. Like these guys were just like, the cash is here. They want to give us, $250,000 to write Cabbage Patch Kids songs. Sure, why not? That's kind of how I feel about when you start to get to songs 5, 6, and 7 about the Orange Bird.
Yeah, and the story. I mean, I know it's children's records, and I feel like this is one of those records where they're really like talking down to kids. The story is kind of in that sort of 1970s, for some reason, dystopian Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer style, where the Orange Bird is a misfit who's disliked by everyone until he finally performs a heroic task at the end to prove his value. And then everyone's like, oh, you should come live with us forever because you were great.
That Orange Bird made that big orange stop sign to warn us. He saved our lives.
Yeah, saved them.
I was wrong about you, Orange Bird. You're really okay. You can come along with us on our vacation and be our friend forever.
Oh, that'll make me so happy.
Me too. Happy.
It's just sad, like how not fantastic the record ended up being. But the Orange Bird song is great, and the Orange Tree song is not too bad. That had to have been a hard one for them because you already had this Sunshine Tree song. And then they're like, oh, can you write a song about an orange tree? It's like, but those guys already did that. Well, yeah, I need you to do one anyway.
Orange tree, with your fragrant branches blossoming, orange tree, what a miracle you are.
But this was just the tip of the merchandising iceberg. In the mid-1970s, there was an overwhelming array of Orangeburg merchandise available at every Welcome Center and Grove stand across the state. There was a vast array of items bearing the bird's likeness, like china cups and saucers and dishes and bells, ashtrays, cloisonne jewelry, yo-yos, PVC figurines, playing cards. And yes, I owned probably one of all of those things.
But not an inflatable. An inflatable is like my white whale.
Oh, they have. I mean, they had them.
Yeah, they have the inflatable Orangeburg.
Hard to find.
They go for like $300 now.
Oof. Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like the most ubiquitous item was the Orangeburg Bank, which is on sale on eBay almost continually, still to this day.
I think I have one of those. It's it's that hard plastic, right?
Hard plastic with the slot edge, and then
slot in the back. Yeah, that was one of my first purchases.
Yeah, the yellow plug out of the bottom.
Yep.
Those used to see those in the PVC figurines at like the little 1-inch high figurines. Or I think there were 3 of them.
Yeah, before it became a thing, I bought a box full of the PVC figures, like just early on a whim. And at some of my early meetups with Twitter friends, like when we started connecting on the Disney stuff, I would just bring them to the meetups and give them to them. And now I'm like, I kind of wish I had them all now, because they're probably like $20 a piece. But
oh, that's funny. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, so here's a weird story. So sometime in the 1990s, somebody found a warehouse full of these Orangeburg banks. And the way I found out is that I went to the Tampa airport to see somebody off on a plane trip. And like, you hadn't seen these, you would find these in onesie twosies at like Disneyana shows, but all of a sudden, I think it was like 1994, 1995. There was literally an entire like 3 or 4 shelves full of the original Orangeburg banks.
Wow.
Just sitting there. And so, like I said, I tracked them down. Someone found a warehouse of them that hadn't been used. They were put out to gift stores to sell. And some of them were even packaged and reused, packaged to be sold as corporate gifts. And you'd find those on eBay too, with like a round tag attached to the bottom saying it was like a corporate gift for you or something like that. Crazy. So with all this promotion, the state of Florida had absolutely nothing to worry about when the orange crop reached a new record of 175 million boxes in the 1972-1973 season. By that time, 44% of American homes ate or drank citrus at least once a month. The bird had definitely done his job. But new problems were about to appear, which would lead to his eventual extinction. So the next year, 1974, the state's crop actually shrank by 10 million boxes. Tourism, commercial development, and a population explosion in Central Florida caused by Disney's arrival, ironically, started transforming orange groves into housing developments, shopping malls, and parking lots, which is a trend that still continues to this day. I know, Brian, you've gone to the Citrus Tower several times. What do you see now when you go to the top of the Citrus Tower?
Nothing.
Well, there's still some, I won't say wilderness. I mean, there's still some undeveloped land, but it's not really a lot of citrus groves anymore.
Yeah. Did you go, JT? Have you been there?
Oh yeah. We drive by. It's right by my parents' place down there. It's,
okay.
Yeah. You see it on the way to Walmart actually. And, it's funny because I actually have, I should give it to Todd to clean up. I have some old 16 millimeter film I have found that I believe is shot from the top of the Citrus Tower in the 50s. Oh. And you can kind of match the streets and the lake. I'm like 80% sure that's what it was. But orange groves, as far as the eye can see, you just, and now it's just neighborhoods and developments and the strip mall, just all the things. It's just kind of sitting there, and that's it. It's,
Yeah, when that thing opened, it was literally just miles and miles of orange groves all around it. And that in Central Florida has gone away. The bird's advertising partner, Anita Bryant, came under fire in 1977 after she spoke out against gay teachers and an anti-gay housing discrimination bill in Dade County, Florida.
Miami-Dade County had passed a anti-discrimination ordinance, which said that, you can't discriminate, and they included based on sexual preferences. She led a campaign to repeal it. The thing that's gotten kind of lost to history is she won. It passed with 69% of the vote. And Miami-Dade didn't reinstate it until it was in either 1997 or 1998. Like it lived on for 2 decades. But when she was running that campaign, like there was not only backlash from people around, Florida and, the obviously the smaller opposition than was against it. There was an organized boycott, but famous people from all political spectrums were spoke out against her. So the people you'd expect, and then like Ronald Reagan, who was the former governor of California and was going to be running for president again, came out in opposition to her and in support of the ordinance, the anti-discrimination law. So like she really ended up and she did not understand it. So, I mean, I don't know if you read some of that stuff, Hal, but in the aftermath, her husband divorced her in 1980, like two or 3 years after this. She had sponsorships from Tupperware, Coke, because really that's what her career had become. She had kind of gone from in the 60s being a Lawrence Welk style ballad type person where she would release these songs and sell. And then by the 70s, she had really become corporate spokesperson, a wholesome mother corporate spokesperson for the orange juice, Coca-Cola, Tupperware, all this other mom stuff. And so she didn't see what was so bizarre about her position. And I would imagine when you get 69% of the vote for it, you think, oh, okay, everybody agrees with me. And then the world collapsed on her over the next couple of years and she became a pariah. She was in the wrong industry, first off, making her living to take that kind of a public position and lead that kind of a public campaign. So for the rest of her life, she, led a relatively quiet, she went bankrupt. The Orange Bird song and all that stuff faded away from Disney. And eventually the Orange Bird faded away from Disney. So nobody really made the connection anymore. But I do want to tell you one thing, and you can here's a great sound clip for you, Hal. That's not how I knew Anita Bryant. When I first started listening to Jimmy Buffett songs, his song Mañana, at the end of it, one of his lines is, and I hope Anita Bryant never ever does one of my songs. And I had to ask my dad, who's Anita Bryant? And because there was no Wikipedia back then. And my dad told me, she's some lady who used to, do this. And I'm like, well, why is Jimmy Buffett singing about her? And he goes, I don't remember. He didn't even remember what the Anita Bryant controversy was.
Well, I know you're not a huge Carol Burnett fan, but there was a parody of her.
She did a whole show
on the Carol Burnett show too. Yeah.
She did a whole show beating up on Anita Bryant.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, Carol Burnett was, top of the charts back then on the TV ratings. And that's kind of, for anybody upset about what Anita Bryant did, trust me, I think she paid a heavy, heavy price for it.
Yep. There was a boycott that cost the citrus industry hundreds of millions of dollars. She lost her sponsorship deal with the state in 1982. And just 2 years prior to that, the Orange Bird was on a path to make a comeback. He appeared in the Orange Bird and Nutrition Adventures, a comic book produced by Walt Disney Educational Media Company, in which he helps two nameless but very tiki room-like birds learn the value of good nutrition. In that same year, Disney produced a new educational animated short featuring the bird and featuring songs by the Sherman Brothers, titled Foods and Fun, a Nutrition Adventure. The plot revolved around the Orange Bird not being able to fly south for the winter due to lethargy. And after learning about the needs for proper diet, exercise, and rest, he was on his way. Presumably, he never returned from the southern migration because that was the last project featuring the Orange Bird that the company ever produced. Disney and the Florida Citrus Commission did sign a 5-year sponsorship extension in 1981. That also expanded the sponsorship beyond Adventureland to the Enchanted Grove Juice Bar in Fantasyland, which is now like the Mad Tea Party themed snack facility that's over next to the teacups. The Florida Orange Growers sponsorship ended in 1986. The walk-around character was discontinued. Sometime in about the mid-1990s, the animatronic orange bird behind the counter of the Sunshine Tree Terrace was removed as well. And then with the closing of the original Tropical Serenade show in 1997 and its replacement with the Enchanted Tiki Room under new management the next year, the last vestiges of the Florida Orange Growers were plucked from the attraction with the removal of the magic fountain and its citrus garland. So like Disneyland, when you go in the Enchanted Tiki Room, there's like little pineapples and things around the magic fountain there. Well, once they took out there used to be little plastic oranges and things around the magic fountain in the Walt Disney World version. So once Oa came in and the fountain went out, that was the end of the oranges. And then by the mid 2000s, the Sunshine Tree itself was removed from the juice bar and the orange bird was no more. Now there is one tiny little piece of that still in existence today. So if you go to what is now Aloha Isle, which used to be the Sunshine Tree Terrace, if you walk in and look up, I think there's one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side. There's actually a gobo in there, which is like a light fixture with these spinning discs in front of it with sort of like these weird craggly lines. And that used to project down a light effect of like sunlight filtering through tree leaves that used to just run on a loop inside of there. And for all the work that's been done in there to fix things up over the years, those two light fixtures have just managed to not ever get taken down. So there is a tiny little bit, hopefully still, every time I go, it's like I poke my head in there to see if they've been taken down yet. So far it hasn't happened. But that was the end of the Orange Bird in Florida. But he was set for a comeback eventually, thanks to Japan. So much like the Florida Citrus Commission, Japan's Ehime Prefecture also has a citrus commission who decided to invent a holiday to sell more of their fruit. So Japan celebrates Valentine's Day in February. And then they have a thing called White Day, which takes place in March. And part of the deal is, I mean, if you think American consumerism is bad, I feel like Japan is like 10 times more consumer focused than we are. So the deal with White Day is that whatever you got the person on Valentine's Day, like I think this is only guy sided. So girls don't get guys stuff. This is just guys get girls stuff. The value of whatever you get on White Day is supposed to be 3 times whatever you got them on Valentine's Day. And then about 1994, this commission in this province created something called Orange Day, which takes place in April. So on April 14th, the idea is that you give your partner orange colored or oranges as gifts. And supposedly that's the day when the love between you becomes certain, when you give the gift of an orange thing to your
Interesting.
to your girlfriend.
It should be noted that is a thing in Japanese culture, is giving fruit as gifts, and it is more focused on the beauty of the fruit than the actual taste or quality of it. So if you found like a perfect cantaloupe, it could be priced at like $50. And that would be a very good gift to bring to someone. Like, I found this watermelon that's just absolutely perfect for you, and I paid $40 for it. And, you know, when you cut it open, it tastes like every other watermelon. Just like the pink pineapples we pay twice the amount for it right now. Like, in fact, they don't even taste as good sometimes as the yellow pineapples. But yeah, so that should be like, it sounds weird on its own, but you need to know that little piece of Japanese culture.
Well, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
So that started around 94. And then what I see online is that it says that they started doing it at Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland in 2004. Although I think it really started there in 2006, because I can't find any 2004, 2005 merchandise, but I do see 2006 merchandise for it. So it just started as like a one-off thing of like, oh, hey, let's, it's Orange Day. Someone somehow made this connection with the Orange Bird. There's even an explanation on the back to explain who the Orange Bird was and why he existed. So that way it was, there's like, this medal was designed for the Florida-born Disney character Orange Bird in honor of Orange Day. Orange Bird characters do not appear at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort. So it even had a disclaimer on it of like, don't go look for this character anywhere, but he's there. And that sort of like started a slow roll of merchandise in Japan. There was an Orange Bird figurine that came out maybe 2008, 2009. That was part of the Disney Magical Collection. I actually ordered one, I remember, on eBay back then because it was so rare to see any kind of new Orange Bird merchandise. So it's this little like 2-inch, 3-inch tall Orange Bird with the word nice, which was taken from an illustration in the record album. And he sits on a little stand and it's a really nice sculpture of him. It's great. And they have an explanation on the back in Japanese of like who he is. Like they say like, Orange Bird, who can't talk or sing like other birds, and said he has a special talent for what he thinks to appear as an orange cloud. One day, the Orange Bird, who was laughed at by the birds in the park, decides to travel to the warm and cheerful South to find new friends. Orange Bird was designed for the Florida orange growers, which Walt Disney sponsored WDW in Florida. And so that, and then there was a Sega has these like coin machines that you put stuff in, and you get a little prize out. Mm-hmm. So they made like a Cupid doll wearing an Orange Bird costume. So you see this like human face with like this Orange Bird head. It's like it's wearing. So that was like a soft vinyl prize in 2009. And so there's just this little bit of a, momentum of sort of bringing him back as merchandise. Oh, and I should mention that I think it was 2004, the Ehime Prefecture, they actually have their own orange-based mascot now, who is a dog who has an orange head of an orange with the leaves as the ears and a flower as his tail. And so I'm guessing the Orange Bird has influence now, like in return, like this character in Japan, which is hilarious. He's called Mikyan, which I guess is a sort of like a play on the word for mandarin oranges plus the sound of a dog barking. He's super cute. He has a heart for like a nose. So he was 2011 is when it happened. Okay. So they brought it out in 2011. What's funny is that he has a rival character that they debuted in 2015 called Dark Mikyan. So he's like an orange from like not that prefecture. So he's green. He's not a good one. He's like a gross orange. And he's actually, this ties into, I'll read the description. This ties into your idea, Brian, of like, he was born as a mandarin orange outside Ehime Prefecture, where he couldn't become a perfect fruit like the Mikyan. Consequently, the reason for his living is to thwart Mikyan however he can. He is the color of a moldy mandarin orange with an evil face and a big scratch on his forehead. So now I want to make a dark Orange Bird. So maybe we'll have some dark Orange Bird merchandise inspired by this.
So is your 2011 leading up to Destination D?
Yes, okay. It is. 2011, Orange Bird becomes the mascot for Destination D.
For intro purposes, for those of you that don't know, Destination D was the one in 2011, I believe, was the very first D23 fan club event that they did in Florida as opposed to California. And if you like our retro magics, that's what the 2011 and 2013 Destination Ds were. I mean, they were heavy on theme park history content. Richard Sherman was there and played the Orange Bird thing. They had a limited edition Orange Bird pin. They did a whole presentation on the Orange Bird and the Orange Bird's history there.
That's fantastic. So he's starting to make a comeback. In March 1st, 2012, the Citrus Swirl comes back to Adventureland.
We need to shout out to Jason Grant, the Imagineer, who worked on that project. They were sprucing up Adventureland and the Sunshine Tree Terrace, and he wanted them to bring back the original Citrus Swirl. And what had happened is sometime in the prior 10 years, the Citrus Swirl is vanilla ice cream and orange juice slush. Basically, if you could think like the orange juice concentrate, but not so strong that it would like punch you in the face like concentrate is. It was very tart, but it was like a slushy. It was very much like a slushy. And so it was the vanilla ice cream mixed with the slush. And they actually had them in other flavors too, in other places in the park. Like there was a strawberry swirl in, I think Fantasyland had that. But anyway, because Florida also grows like the second most strawberries in the country. But yeah, so they brought back they had replaced it at some point for ease in the 2000s with just orange sherbet, which is what they have now again. But they brought back the original Citrus Swirl, and it lasted 10 years or so, I think, before I first clocked that they didn't have it available anymore. It was like off and on for like post COVID, and then by like 2023, it was just gone forever.
They release a Earth Day pin with the orange bird on it. April 17th, 2012, the Sunshine Tree Terrace reopens.
The reason I want to call out Jason Grant here is when he was doing it, he wanted to bring the orange bird back into the Sunshine Tree Terrace. And the stories out there, I remember seeing the interviews with him at the time, but he had them looking and Imagineering for one of the orange bird figurines. And they did find it in storage and shipped it so that they could spruce it up. And so in the Sunshine Tree Terrace, in the tree area behind the counters where you would order, they put the stationary orange bird up there next to a crate of oranges, and to kind of add it back in there along with the original Citrus Swirl. Tiny little nod, not like a huge thing, but great, total fan service for us.
And I just remember being shocked. Like when I opened up the Disney Parks blog that day and saw the orange bird is back, I was just like, what? Yeah. Amazing. Like never. So Dave Hoffman was the creative director for Magic Kingdom. Jason Grant, of course, behind it. Then Casey Jones created t-shirts with Jason's artwork, and Monty Beldova brought back the sipper. That was a souvenir of the 1970s, but upgraded a little bit. And yeah, oh my God, what a thing. So that was great. But it was short-lived because
somewhere along the way, as the internet gave way to food trends and the social media food trends, Dole Whip kind of somehow, even though it's an inferior product, I'll duck now. It took off, and like Dole Whip became a thing along with turkey legs, which are also terrible, and Mickey pretzels, and come on, throw a couple more at me that
Mickey bars,
the Mickey bars,
the Mickey bars, and the
churros.
My beloved egg roll stand that doesn't sell egg rolls anymore. It sells cheeseburger spring rolls and something else that became a thing that now has long lines. Anyway, so they decided, hey, this Dole Whip line at Aloha Isle is like, which is right on the thoroughfare once you cross the bridge into Adventureland, into where the wide opening is, where Sunshine Tree Terrace, well, a lot of the space in Sunshine Tree Terrace in front of it was taken away when they put Aladdin's Magic Carpets there. But that was the more spacious area. So someone in operations decides, we need to flip them. We will move the orange bird and the Citrus Swirl stuff into tiny little Aloha Isle. We'll call that the Sunshine Tree Terrace. And then the current Sunshine Tree Terrace that's been there since 1971, we'll put the Dole Whip there, and we'll just call that Aloha Isle. So that's what they did. They just switched locations.
That was March of 2015.
I don't care for that.
No, I hate the location where it is.
I liked it because the original looked like the original, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And they put all that effort into it.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. Yeah, I was really confused.
You're in the crowded walkway now, too.
When they changed to Sunshine Tree Terrace, there's been 3 signs in front of it. The first one they put up didn't have the orange bird on it. Then there's been 2 more that did have the orange bird on it and like different poses on it. So I guess they keep trying to figure out like which is the most orange birdy way to do that. I missed one other thing in 2011. There was a annual pass holder orange bird vinylmation that came out that year. So, okay, 2012, Orange Bird's back in the park. 2013, he becomes the chaser in the Park Stars 2 vinylmation series. 2015, the Disney Parks blog gives away Orange Bird magic bands. He sort of becomes the unofficial like mascot of the Disney Parks blog. They come out with a glass pitcher and juice glasses and melamine plates and bowls available from the Disney store.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. Someone gave me the Orange Bird magic band. I don't remember who it was, but thank you. It doesn't work anymore. It's the first magic band I ever.
When you couldn't replace the batteries, yeah.
But I do have the Orange Bird magic band. And thank you to whoever gave it to me. I don't remember who it was.
I got one too. I actually won there was a Disney Parks blog contest where you could email in, and I was one of the 350 people that got one, which was awesome.
Yes, sir. Don't you ever say you never won nothing.
There you go. I did. I could do things. Planes, Fire, and Rescue, and that. We
have the bowls here. We use them almost weekly. The plastic bowls. Yeah, I got them from online, and I believe some plates, which I've lost.
I think I sent mine down to the archive. I think we put them on display at our events. I don't think I have them here.
I have probably 7 or 8 of the plates, and I only bought 2 of the bowls, and I'm kicking myself because I should have the same amount of bowls as I have plates, and I don't. And then the juice glasses were awesome, but they're done with decals, so they're all starting to peel off now. Where my 1970s juice glasses that are silk screened are still like looking good. I'd say 2017. They released a Funko Pop with 3 variations. So there was the regular one. There was the Diamond Collection where he's covered in glitter. And then the New York Comic-Con had a limited edition of 1000 that was flocked. And that is the like hardest one to find because it's only 1,000. I see those on eBay. People attempting to sell them for like $275.
What?
Which, yeah, they're crazy. The regular ones, it was like $12 to buy it if you got it at the park. Like the regular ones, I think usually go for about, or listed, I should say, at $65 or $75.
Oh yeah, his head is like a fuzzy card. I'm seeing this.
The glittery ones are more expensive than that, and then the flocked ones are outrageous.
I like the plastic one because I'm looking at this. Is the texture of his head is like an orange.
Yeah. So it is. And it kind of reminds, the flocked one kind of reminds me of the walk around where they like change the texture from smooth to flocked eventually.
We should talk about that.
Okay. Let's
do
it. Talk about the 2 different walk around characters.
So the first version, probably similar to he had a smooth head, right?
He did. He had a hard, what would you, I guess, hard plastic, some kind of, it was uncovered. It was just painted with the little, because you mentioned that his arms were leaves. Well, so was his little bit of hair, was like a little bit of like 3 or 4 leaves hanging out of the top. And so it was just this round orange shaped head that they painted the eyes and nose and everything on. And it was hard. You could see the breathing vents on the side, but for the most part, and it was the furry body, the fuzzy body, and they were short, right? Like the orange bird was
5'2",
closer to 5 feet than to 5'5".
Except for ours, right? Ours is special. Is a special height.
Our cardboard cutout we made.
Our cardboard cutout one. Size. Actually, I think you got a 5-foot one. And we should have gotten a 6-foot one. We got a 5-foot one,
and they cut it down to like.
So it's just looks tiny when you're standing there. Maybe it's a 4-foot one. I don't remember, but it does look missized. People were creative with their angles though when they took pictures with it, so it looked right. Anyway, yeah. So that was like for maybe the first 2 years, and then based on our slides, somewhere 73, 74, they covered the head of the costume into, faux fur like you would see on pretty much every other walk around character. And that is, I think, all of our preferred version. It doesn't look like you're meeting Mr. Peanut on the boardwalk, and anybody could just throw the helmet on and like, hey, I'm Mr. Peanut. It looks like an actual Disney character there. So I just, and that's the one that you saw most frequently throughout the 70s. But I think I think you talked about it earlier, but maybe as late as 1980 might have been the last time we saw. I mean, it was gone years before the Citrus sponsorship went. The walk around character was 79 or 80, maybe, was around the end. We really don't catch any slides or footage or anything after that with the Orange Bird.
Where'd he go?
I mean, he was still on stuff.
Why'd they cancel the walk around? Was there just nobody short enough, or?
No, I mean, I think they were throttling. They renegotiated. So the original contract was 10 years, and then they added a 5-year extension. So it went from 71 to 81, and at the 81 renewal, the terms were different. It wasn't as beneficial to the citrus growers, and they didn't want to spend as much money as Disney was trying to make. Disney's attention was obviously on building Epcot at that point. So it just, I think that the citrus growers negotiated a 5-year extension that didn't include paying to have their mascot running around.
Yeah. And my guess is that not only would they have to, the costume had probably been worn out, so they probably needed a new one. And they absolutely directly paid to have they paid for that cast member to be in that costume because it was a corporate thing. So that was, one less person or 2 less people to have on the payroll for them. So yeah, I think pure economics. And so where can you go to see the Orange Bird today? Well,
I know.
Do you?
Disney Springs.
Disney Springs. Absolutely.
There we go.
So there's a mural. He's on a mural by the boathouse that was added in 2019. I think even before that, he's in Lego form. There's a wall.
There is a wall. Yeah. I took pictures of it. I wanted to replicate it, but I never bought the bricks to do it.
And he's kind of falling apart now. That section of the wall, unfortunately,
is it bad?
Yeah. It's not hanging out so well. There's another mural of him inside the World of Disney store that's painted on one of the brick walls inside, which was a relatively new ad.
Well, they have a weird food fest at Disney Springs. I see him a lot at the flavors of Florida or citrus something.
Mm-hmm. With the flavors of Florida, they did a whole hunt thing, I guess, to get some ice cream, some orange flavored ice cream. So I assume you'd pay, but then you'd go around and find an orange burned cardboard cutout pasted up in different places in Springs. Of course, this is the season for the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. So he has been a staple of the merchandise since 2019, which is the first year that they introduced the big orange bird sipper. Tons of merchandise since then.
Yeah.
Just every year, they're inundated by Flower and Garden, orange bird merchandise. This year, for some reason, the orange bird looks dirty. So they took a photo of the orange bird, in his costume from that Florida Citrus Commission reveal. And they use a halftone. So it's black dots to shade his face. And then they put orange behind it. And when I saw the pictures today online, it just looked like he was a dirty orange bird. The design confuses me. If the merchandise doesn't sell this year as well, we'll see whether the orange bird hangs around some more or not. In 2021, they came out with a little Orange Bird Golden Book that Jason Grant wrote and Scott Tilley illustrated. And in 2024, they debuted a Orange Bird bus wrap. So there are some buses driving around Walt Disney World, potentially still, that has the Orange Bird on them. So Gone came back integrated part of our lives now. Definitely a huge merchandise push. But I love that little guy, and I'm so glad that he's around. And I have to, it takes great restraint for me to not try to buy up everything that he's on. But at the same time, there's so much stuff now. There's no way to do that.
It is very weird. Well, we should say two things. The Florida Citrus Commission, so for many years, still actually in one or two spots, the citrus growers were allowed to display the orange bird. As you mentioned, how there was merchandise and all kinds of other stuff. But a vestige of that after the sponsorship deal ended was they had the orange bird, like some of them painted them on fences or had them on the sides of their citrus stands. They had them in their groves at places to try to, as like a roadside attraction. And a few of them still live on to this day. Although my last visit to Showcase of Citrus, he was missing, and he had been there over in Claremont. My last visit there was maybe 2 years ago, and he was still there. And somebody told me that he's not there anymore. And we've been through before, like, what's the lingering legalities of it at this point? Because it was a Walt Disney creation. They paid Disney to make it. And I think their usage license ended in '86.
Right.
Like
yeah.
That's so there might've been a turn the other cheek kind of thing for these little bits. And Claremont, again, with the internet and social media and people in corporate figuring out, I need something to do today. Hey, somebody tweeted a picture of like this mom and pop grove somewhere in Central Florida that still has an orange bird picture. We got to write a letter to tell them to take that down.
Yeah.
And I suspect that that's what's happened. And then the other thing that, on the character, it was, I think we all kind of thought on the 50th anniversary, like, well, they have to bring the walk around character back, right? Like it was like a no-brainer.
They did do the statue, right? One of the gold statues of the orange bird somewhere.
They did the statue, and they have the one that they made for D23 for when they do Florida events. They had the figurine that people can take their pictures with that they haul out for various D23 events down there. But the actual, just having a costume made now is nothing for them. And you're just like, wow, I can't believe they haven't done that. Like, it just seems like it would be a natural thing to do.
Because you could have had him just going around Adventureland doing his thing, and
you could have just had him inside in a setting and charged people $50 a piece, and they would have paid it.
Yeah,
these people love to bleed people for money. I would have paid it.
Did you hit on who owns it? Disney owns it, technically, the rights to it.
Yes.
So it's was it ever not theirs?
So it was always copyright Walt Disney Productions.
Ah, okay.
Used under license from, for the Florida Citrus Commission. And in fact, when the orange bird was like a non-thing here, I was actually like, I need to find out whether or not the Citrus Commission still has some rights to him, because maybe I can get a license from them
you own
and make some orange bird merchandise. So back before, during this period when nothing was going, so I started pursuing it with the Florida Citrus Commission to see hey, who's got this? And they finally did get back to me and say no, we don't have the rights to it. Disney has the rights to it. And it was maybe 2 or 3 years after that they started producing merch again.
They stole my idea.
Right. It was very natural to want to bring him back again. I mean, he's a part of Florida history. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing him when I was growing up.
And so much the early years of Walt Disney World were the first 10 years were so focused on the citrus connection. So it wasn't just that. I mean, the sponsorship obviously was a big deal, but Florida was citrus fruit. That was the gift. That was the takeaway from Florida. The same way that there was Wisconsin cheese or Vermont maple syrup, right? Like Vermont maple syrup. And we can probably think of one or two others that from Virginia peanuts,
Michigan cherries,
the Georgia peaches. Like there were just things that like, oh, well, you send these, like that's the gift you send when you take your 4-week road trip because there are no highways and like that was the thing. So it was a natural partnership. And like, we didn't really get in deep into like the corporate side of it, but the Orlando area citrus growers, I want to say it was called the Sunshine Club or something. It was like a monthly businessman's breakfast for the people who had the citrus groves and were part of the citrus growers. And I want to say like Dick Nunes or some Disney executive attended every single month. Like they were intrinsically linked. Remember all the cups had the sunshine tree design on them?
Mm-hmm.
And
oh yeah.
It was just so much a part of it. They worked it into menus across the property with citrus desserts and some really odd stuff because it was the 70s where they were shoehorning citrus into things where you're like, I don't know if that belongs in there.
You just got it cheap. And
yeah, a great book, by the way, that covers this in a chapter is Michael Crawford's Progress City Primer, which is available out there. He has a whole chapter on the Citrus Commission and Florida Orange Bird. And I remember he goes through some of the menus. And obviously we have a bunch in our archive, Todd.
We do. If you search Orange Bird in the archive, it will come up with a lot of stuff.
Put in citrus, put in orange.
Yeah, put in whatever you want. Put in Orange Bird, you'll get a lot.
Yeah.
Or just put in orange and you'll be be infiltrated.
This had me thinking too. Back when we interviewed Ray DeForest, he would say, and that's episode 75.5. I just looked it up. He had some good stories about like working in Disney and then going out and helping in the orange groves, like at night. It's like a side hustle to your Disney. And he'd say like there was a freeze warning and they'd have to go heat the tree, all kinds of stuff. But it was interesting just to hear that firsthand of working the orange groves.
Gotta support the sponsors, man. You gotta
right.
Exactly. Very cool.
You get a Coke in one hand and a Pepsi in the other.
A mouthful of Fritos.
Hal, thank you very much for putting that together. Orange Bird's one of my favorite characters as well, and great reminiscing here with you guys on this stuff. So thank you for putting that together. As always, if you can make a donation or purchase some of our items at retrowdw.com/support us, or you can make a tax-deductible donation, lbvhistory.org/donate. And even more interesting, we still have Retro Magic California tickets available. They have been moving, and I will predict, and I think the gentleman here will agree, we will sell out. But if you are interested in seeing us in person and joining with us with a bunch of Disney Imagineers on stage in Southern California, right near Disneyland, February 7th and 8th next year, that's 2027. In case you're listening, to this episode in like 2029, sorry, you missed it. Hope you can get to the next one in 2033. But yeah, we've got some confirmed people so far. Once we get more of those confirmed up, we'll start releasing details. And but yeah, we got a venue tour. We kind of know what's going on a little more. So as always, these events take months and months of preparation to put together. And
the venue,
the
venue, if you stay there, has unlimited orange juice at breakfast.
There you go. Look at that. We'll be back with our next episode, 3 Times a Lady, which is coming up next for attractions that have utilized the same track over and over and over.
3 times or more.
We'll be back with that episode. Thanks for listening. Give us a shout out at iTunes or wherever your favorite podcasting app is. And you can find us in your grocer's freezer and in fine department stores. With that, Brian, take us out.
Follow the Lake Buena Vista Historical Society on most social media platforms at LBV History and on the web at lbvhistory.org. For all things Retro Disney World, including exclusive merchandise and our digital film and image archive, visit us on the web at retrowdw.com and follow us on major social media platforms at RetroWDW. And follow our hosts, Todd McCartney on X at WDWMS, Hal Bowers on social media at GoAwayGreen, JT Kujer on X at LS1JT, on YouTube at Rubber City Motoring, and on the web at rubbercitymotoring.com. And you can find me on most major social media platforms at Brian P. Miles. Retro Disney World is the monthly podcast of the Lake Buena Vista Historical Society, a nonpartisan, nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c3 organization, and is not affiliated in any way with the Walt Disney Corporation or any of its subsidiary or affiliated entities.
When you're just about green with envy or gonna be feeling blue, you can use a little orange thought or two. When you start in blushing pink or your temper turns you red, that's when the orange bird can see you through. Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think a funny thought, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird. With his beautiful orange feathers and beautiful leafy wings, he's a fluffy little puffy sight to see. He can turn your frowns around when you see him looking down, the orange bird up in the sunshine tree. Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think a funny thought, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird.
Little orange bird,
in
the sunshine tree.
Won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think a funny thought, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird.
Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree. Won't you think of something sunny just for me?
Free OJ.